Good morning, everybody. I see there's a couple people signing on. We're going to leave this open until 11, and then we'll formally start our webinar. In the meantime, we have a question. Question is to prompt you to use the chat, so we all know that if you had a question, you know where the chat is, and we can have that back and forth. So feel free to wait here with us for another few minutes and see if you know how many years Pennsylvania has had the electric utility rebate program available. All right, you've made it to 11. There's looks like we have some climbing numbers, but we're also going to move along just to make sure that the webinar itself stays on track. So welcome to this webinar on conserving energy and reducing project costs with Duquesne Light's Business Solution Rebates Program. Up first, we have a little trivia question. The intent of the trivia question is, one, make everybody's brain start working, two, to have everyone kind of feel out where the chat box is on Zoom. Although many of us have been using Zoom now for the past 2-ish years, it's good to know where the chat box is if you have a question. So right now, we have our trivia question of how many years has the Pennsylvania Electric Utility Rebate Program been available for people to utilize? And I see that Stephen has responded with 10 years. Thank you for participating. That was fun. As of 2009, the first phase was initiated. So that's making the program roughly 12 years old in whole, going on 13 years. So just wanted to give a shout out. 10 was pretty close. 10 is pretty good. So the phases themselves have changed over the course of each physical phase, but overall the program has been available in some fit form fashion. So some housekeeping tips and suggestions prior to moving forward with this webinar. All attendees are automatically muted with their cameras turned off. If you have any technical difficulties accessing or hearing the presentation, please use the chat and we'll try to correct that as promptly as we can. Attendees can submit questions at any time during this webinar. Please use the Q&A button and or the chat. Those are two separate areas. We are going to wait though until the end of the webinar to address all questions related to the webinar. If it's a technical issue or something of that nature, we'll address it on the side. However, if it's related to the content, we're going to go over all of those questions at the very end. If you have a question after the webinar is over, please feel free to follow up with anybody who is on this webinar. Everybody's information will be provided, or through PennTap. We have a generic email where you can email pentap@psu.edu. This webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded to the PennTap website for everyone's viewing pleasure. And all attendees will receive a follow-up email notifying you when that recording is available. To introduce myself as we get started, I am Alana Colvin and I am the host of today's webinar. I am an energy and environment technical advisor for PennTap. While PennTap serves all of Pennsylvania, I work out of the Southwest Pennsylvania region, performing energy audits, supporting grant applications, working on community economic development projects throughout the counties, and working with our resource partners. More information about me can be found on the PennTap website. The agenda for today, we are going to go over a couple slides reviewing PennTap's services and how they can support Duquesne Light's Act 129 Phase 4 programs and their alternative energy efficiency programs as well. After that, we'll go through the Q&A session. And with that, I'll get started on PennTap. The Pennsylvania Technical Assistance Program, or PennTap, at Penn State is a statewide technical assistance organization charged with supporting Pennsylvania businesses and anchor institutions, which include our manufacturers, municipalities, educational institutions, entrepreneurs, and economic development agencies. We began over 50 years ago as one of the first technical assistance programs in the country. PennTap focuses on helping Pennsylvania businesses through two primary areas of expertise. We have our energy services, and we also have university connections and innovation. Through these pillars, our goal is to help your business be successful and to drive economic growth throughout Pennsylvania. You can find more about PennTap on our website at pentap.psu.edu. PennTap has a diverse staff with different backgrounds, including chemical engineering, electrical engineering, environmental science, management, and economics. Our staff include a certified energy auditor, certified energy manager, registered environmental auditor, renewable energy professional, a professional geologist, and a Six Sigma Green Belt. In 2020, we helped 105 companies in 36 counties throughout Pennsylvania to save a total of $2.5 million. We also helped or saved 29 jobs in the state of Pennsylvania. The greatest measure of our success is the testimonials we receive from our clients. Please feel free to browse our success stories on our webpage to see the different examples of how PennTap is benefiting Pennsylvania businesses. Love to give a shout out that Bond Tool is on, and Bond Tool happened to be one of our success stories. So you can check up on what they're up to, what they do, and see how they were able to improve their facility. We have specifically our energy and environment services, which I would like to talk a little bit more about as they complement the Duquesne Light energy efficiency programs today. So PennTap is grant funded through state and federal programs. Specific to Pennsylvania's manufacturing and agricultural related businesses, we, PennTap, have vouchers that will cover the cost of our services. So we can come through, look at your facility at no cost due to these vouchers. We have the pollution prevention and energy efficiency assessments, also known as P2E2 assessments, where we come through a company and we look at ways to decrease pollution and increase energy efficiency at the facility. We have our E3 assessments, which is a build off the P2E2, where we incorporate lean manufacturing into the process. We work with our local industrial resource centers, or IRCs, to support this work. We also have programs in energy management systems. Specifically, we have a DOE 50,001 Ready Navigator program cohort running this past year, where we are working with various manufacturers and introducing a style of energy management system within their facility. We also have opportunities with our grad students on campus to have them help us through looking at your facility and incorporating their skills, looking at what you guys have going on at your facility and seeing if there's a way to marry their expertise along with ours and what you have. Beyond energy, we work closely with our clients to understand the full range of their business needs and to facilitate innovation by creating connections back to the university and our vast resources throughout the state, all of our economic development partners and resource partners throughout the state. PennTap can also provide your business with no cost and or low cost opportunities to engage with Penn State students, faculty, and facilities through internships, capstone courses, classroom projects, and research partnerships. If anybody on today is interested in learning how they can connect with Penn State through any one of these programs, please feel free to reach out to PennTap and we will see what we can do for you. PennTap has grant opportunities that can offset some of the fees associated with some of these programs. And so if there's something that catches your eyes, please feel free to reach out. And before I give the floor over to our speakers, I would like to highlight that Duquesne Light Company, Franklin Energy, and PennTap are part of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Energy Efficiency Roundtable. The Roundtable's mission is to help businesses and industry in Southwest Pennsylvania reduce energy costs through improved energy management, energy efficiency optimization, and implementation of cutting-edge technology. The Roundtable provides a forum for large industrial and commercial energy users to share information and learn from experts on various energy topics, such as from energy efficiency technologies to energy management strategies. Currently, the group is composed of Duquesne Light, Franklin Energy, First Energy, Willdan, Peoples Gas, the Energy Programs Office of the Department of Environmental Protection, and PennTap, and has had contributing partnerships with Kia and SMC Business Council. We have provided programs in the past on compressed air systems, lighting and controls, chillers, combined heat and power, and project funding programs. We are always looking to hear back on topics that industry would like to focus on and learn more about. If you have any suggestions or would like to connect with the Roundtable, please feel free to reach out to any one of us on the webinar today. And so with that, on today's webinar, we have two guest speakers. We have Earl from Duquesne Light Company and Liz from Franklin Energy. Thank you guys for being here today. Would you like to share a little bit more about yourselves?
Sure. This is Earl Serrain, and I'm with Duquesne Light Company. Been with them for, I don't know, many years. And previously other various utilities, along with a company called Eaton Corporation in their power monitoring division. But I run all the commercial industrial rebate programs, which includes what you're here about. And with that, I'll introduce Liz. Liz, do you want to say a little bit?
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for attending today. My name is Liz McQuaid. I'm the Senior Program Manager with Franklin Energy, overseeing the Duquesne Light C&I portfolio. I've been with Franklin Energy and working with Duquesne Light for the past 5 years. Franklin Energy was the implementer of the large commercial program for Duquesne in phase 3, and we look forward to implementing the entire portfolio in phase 4.
Next slide, please. Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody. And again, this is Earl Serrain from Duquesne Light for taking time out of your busy day for us to give you an update on our current rebate program, incentive program for under Act 129. So the commercial industrial efficiency team is composed of basically myself from Duquesne Light side, and then within them we have what we call conservation service providers, or CSPs. And in this phase, for the rebate programs, we have one CSP handling all of our commercial industrial, and that's Franklin Energy, which you heard from Liz earlier. Under Franklin, they have subcontractors, which are assisting them in implementing the program for us. Energy Solutions, which is, we'll talk about later, deals with midstream instant discounts. Power Takeoff is handling or assisting them in virtual commissioning, and EMC Energy Insights, which if you do any rebate projects, you may run across or may be interacting with them as they do EMV and energy management and verification and inspections. Next slide, please. So the C&I energy efficiency programs, Duquesne Lights, if you have not heard, as also with all large utilities in Pennsylvania, by Act 129 in 2008, are required to implement programs which achieve energy efficiency savings. So the current phase, which is now phase 4, so we've went through 3 phases of the program so far. Current one runs from June 1st, started June 1st of 2021 last year, and will run right up to May 31st of 2026, unless funds are depleted before then. So projects must be completed after June 1st, 2021 to qualify. And what we mean by completed, we're talking about when it's last commissioned, last installed, whenever you actually start it up. And documentation must be submitted with 180 days of project completion. So again, what we're talking about there is if it was installed, but nobody commissioned it or hasn't actually, finished completion of installation of the last component. Once that last component is, that's when the clock starts running at 180 days. So cash incentives are available. It's a first come, first serve basis. No pre-approval required. So basically we're looking for you to reach out to us if you have anything, and we'll talk about that in the next couple slides. So with this, I'll turn it over to Liz, who will explain the program that we're running now.
Yeah, thanks, Earl. Hi again, folks. So we really wanted to build upon the offerings in the previous phases from the traditional custom and prescriptive program. So that being said, we added some additional sub-programs to Duquesne's portfolio. So for phase 4, we have the Small Business Direct Installed program that is eligible to customers who have an annual demand of less than 300 kW. We offer no cost assessments in that program and low or no cost product installs. We'll talk about all these programs in more detail on the upcoming slides. We have the Business Solutions program. That is the typical custom and prescriptive rebate program that Duquesne has been running for the past 3 phases. So if you have a lighting replacement or maybe a new construction project, compressed air, those would all fall within that Business Solutions program. Midstream, or an instant discount program. Midstream is a very nice program in that there is not a lot of work on the customer's behalf. You go to a participating distributor, provide them your account information, and the instant discount is taken at the time of sale on certain products. So no paperwork, and that's always a good thing. And then we have virtual commissioning, and this is a new program, I would say, across the country, and it's very unique in that, excuse me, our subcontractor uses data mining of your usage to determine if you are a good fit for energy coaching. They would contact you, talk you through different commissioning and set point items in order to save energy. They continue to coach you while monitoring your electrical usage, and in hopes that you would see a reduction on your bill over the years. So this program's not marketed. They will reach out directly to you to if they determine you're a good candidate, and there's no cost to participate. It's really just those energy savings you're going to see after working with their energy coaches. So we can talk more about the programs in more detail on the next slide. Thank you. So Small Business Direct Install, again, open to any business customer with less than 300 kW annual demand. We're really trying to service those micro-sized and small businesses that want to implement energy efficiency projects, but maybe have hit some financial barriers. In this program, we basically would send out one of our energy advisors to do an assessment to see if you are a good candidate for this program. During the assessment, they will collect information on your business as well as your existing equipment. During the audit as well, they will also install screw-based LEDs and replace those if you still have incandescent or CFL. They will also do exit sign, LED replacements. And those are all no-cost items. There's no cost for you to receive those energy efficiency items at the time of the assessment. Then if you have fixtures or linear fluorescents in there, what we will do is we will refer that project to one of our closed contractors. And by that, we have contractors that we have made agreements with that have agreed to abide by certain pricing as far as the SBDI program is concerned. The contractor would reach back out to you, the customer, and most of the most of the measures are incentivized at up to 80% of the equipment and labor costs. So the program would pay the contractor directly 80% of that upgrade, and you would be responsible for paying the contractor the remaining 20%. Of course, they may add costs for additional labor if it's required, but this program is designed to really take the burden off the customer as far as a financial burden in order for these upgrades to take place. To begin, please email. You can either fill out a website or a form on our website, or you can email us directly or call, and we will have your walkthrough scheduled. Next slide. So Business Solutions Program, this is our custom and prescriptive program. There has been some changes since the previous phase. The prescriptive catalog is on our website, and you can search by product type and see the rebate that those products are eligible for. One of the big changes is that we have increased the custom rebate from 5 and 6 cents to 8 cents a kilowatt hour saved. Custom projects can be compressed air systems, any sort of process improvement, retro commissioning projects, major renovation, or new construction projects. If you are, if you need help, our team is here to assist you in filling out the application and determine what rebates are best for you and what you would qualify for. I've included a link to our rebate catalog on this page, and I believe Alana will be sending this out after the webinar. Also, something to think about is that, for our prescriptive rebates, a lot of these are lighting based. The products do have to be Energy Star or DesignLike Consortium listed in order to qualify for incentives. So as Earl mentioned, we need to have the application must be submitted within 6 months of the project completion date. It's always good practice to put any sort of upcoming projects on our radar in case pre-metering is required. And also, as the program phase winds down, we can monitor the budget and keep you apprised of any possible program closures, or let you know that the budget's decreasing, and if you want to get this project in, please do so. So all projects are subject to inspection by Franklin Energy, Guidehouse, and if you're lucky, all three, the statewide evaluator will inspect your project as well. It's our policy that any rebate over $5,000 is automatically subject to inspection.
So Liz, if I can add a couple of things. This is Earl Strain again from Duquesne Light. So we want to leave you before we move to the next slide is just, as you think about projects you're working on, anything that can save kilowatt hours is what we want to look at. The other thing to keep in mind is, unfortunately, if it's something that you need to do by code, so in other words, you have to do that, unfortunately, we cannot rebate something that you have to do by code anyways. So when we're looking at new construction, we're looking at for designing something that's more efficient than what you have to do minimal by code. So if you exceed code, definitely reach out to us and we'll see if we can assist you with those projects. Okay.
Perfect. And Earl, it looks like there's a question in the chat about a solar conversion. Would they be eligible for rebates?
Yeah, unfortunately, with the way the program and Act 2029 is written, there's no incentives for fuel switching, as I call it. So switching from another source, from electric to solar or electric to gas, unfortunately doesn't qualify under our program funding. So that wouldn't cover us under this program.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then I'd also like to say, with the Business Solutions Program, we have a team of local to Pittsburgh energy engineers and energy advisors. And if we would be happy to walk through your facility or your building and, help you understand the rebates you're eligible for, discuss upcoming projects that you may be planning, and our team could help you figure out what those incentives would be, prior to moving forward with those projects. We're happy to provide that service if you're interested. So just want to let people know that's available. All right. Okay, so project examples. These are some really great examples of projects that have completed in the last few months, and that we just really wanted to highlight how these incentives can boost your bottom line. We had a big box retailer. It was a major renovation. They did lighting and controls. They had almost an 85 kW demand reduction annually, which is huge. Really helped their utility bill. We had a very well-known Pittsburgh grocery store chain do retro commissioning across all of their stores. One store in particular saw almost 750,000 kilowatt hours in savings. And the rebate, which was great, the rebate capped at 90% of the total project cost. So to that customer, they only had to come up with that 10% in order to achieve all those energy savings. We had a large downtown office building. They did cooling tower VFDs and HVAC fan motors, over 2 million kilowatt hours in savings and over 100 kW in demand reduction. They received an $83,000 rebate, which was 45% of the total project cost. So it really took a nice chunk of that project cost. The rebates really helped the project move forward, and they saw great energy savings. And then the final project, this one actually just completed last month. So this was a parking garage. Lights are on 24/7. They have been exploring upgrading to LED lighting for, I would say, the past 4 years. This has been in talks. And the incentives with the increase to the custom rate finally got this project to move forward. So they saw a $1.5 million in savings, a nice size demand reduction, and the rebate was $118,000, which the rebate was capped at 90% of the project cost. So those are just some examples in how these incentive programs, particularly the business solutions programs, can help offset these costs of these large scale projects and drive energy savings. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the Midstream Program, Duquesne offered in phase 3 a Midstream Program for screw-in light bulbs only. We are expanding upon that offering in phase 4 and adding some more robust lighting to the program, as well as offering discounts on HVAC and kitchen equipment. As I said, this is a very easy program to participate in from a customer standpoint. There is minimal paperwork. Everything is handled from our participating distributors. As long as you purchase the equipment from our participating distributors, you will receive that instant discount at the time of purchase. You just have to provide them your account number. So we can talk about the offerings on the next slide for, I believe, lighting. There we go. So these are the lighting instant discounts that are offered. And as you can see, we do have a decent amount of distributors that are local to the Pittsburgh area that have enrolled in the program and have agreed to participate. Again, if you have not started a project yet and are considering a lighting upgrade, excuse me, or a lighting retrofit, this is a really good program to look at because you get that discount up front, and you still, and you don't have to go through all of the other requirements. Now, I will say this program is only for retrofit projects. Any sort of new construction or major renovation needs to go through the business solution programs with the prescriptive and custom rebates. Okay. Here's the HVAC equipment that's available for the instant discounts. The HVAC Midstream Program, the point of this is we really try to encourage the distributors to stock more energy efficient units at the point of sale. So these all exceed the energy efficiency baseline, and we really want to see more of these energy efficient units prevalent in the area, and therefore we are offering this. We should have on the website, I think next week, an updated list of all of the HVAC distributors that are participating in this program. On the previous slide, there was a link to the Midstream page. So if you keep I think it's 2 back, thank you. So keep checking, and if you have any questions in the interim, please feel free to reach out to me and I will get you connected and at least let you know the distributors that are pursuing this program. Okay, next slide, thank you. Kitchen equipment. This one is actually just launching next week as well. So it's very exciting. So if you are considering any sort of kitchen equipment or restaurant upgrades, we have some really nice incentives available for you to offset those costs. Everything from ovens to kitchen exhaust systems and dishwashers. So again, the distributor list will be purchased or will be up on our website next week. So keep checking. And if you have any questions, please reach out. But this is a very nice offering. Prior to this phase, it was all, you had to apply through the prescriptive and custom program. This way you're getting the discount right at the time of purchase and able to purchase that energy efficient equipment. Okay.
So these instant discount programs are really exciting for us at Duquesne Lights. They're new offerings. We basically dipped our toes in the water in the last phase of rebate programs by only providing it for screw-in LED light bulbs. But now we've expanded that to a lot more lighting offerings and added kitchen and added HVAC. So the main takeaway here is just to remember that this is, there's no hassle of filling out a rebate form, waiting for us to send a rebate check back to you and receive it and so on. All of it is done instantly on the spot through the distributor. So whether it's yourself directly as a customer purchasing it or your contractor, as long as they have your information when they go to the distributor and providing the information, then the distributor will authorize that, and then you should see that on your invoice as well, showing the discount from us directly to you instantly. Okay, back to you, Liz.
Thanks, Earl. Yeah. Okay, virtual commissioning. If you are lucky enough to get chosen for one of these, for this program, it's a really great offering. Like I said, this is a new program across the country, and they're using the interval data collected by Duquesne Light to basically data mine and look for trends to see, is there certain, excuse me, is there certain times that you're using more energy throughout the day? Really determining if you're a good candidate for energy coaching. They like to see a baseline of 12 months. So basically, if you have not made any upgrades to your facility in the last year, you're a good candidate for this program. They would run a data analysis, and then they would reach out directly to you. This outreach would come from Power Takeoff. They are a subcontractor of Franklin Energy and are running the virtual commissioning program. And basically, they would reach out and just talk through, what are your set points? When is the building occupied? Really kind of better understanding the operations of your building. And then it's typically about 7 coaching sessions to get your usage optimized. They will, make some suggestions, and then our team would review that data to see if there's been any decreases in savings, and they would work with you until we really saw the savings level off. So this is a no-cost program to participate. There's no rebates affiliated with this program, but the benefit is the customer gets that energy coaching, and with their advice, hopefully you're going to see a reduction on your monthly utility bill. So the program is not marketed directly, but if you are chosen, you'll receive an email and they will get the ball rolling. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so, Franklin Energy, we really our goal is to make these programs as easy for customers to participate as possible. I understand that these programs can be quite burdensome, and we really are trying to take that off of you folks. Like I said, we are offering no cost walkthrough assessments. Our team is here and they will help you navigate the rebate process and pick the programs that are best for you to participate with. We help you if you're looking at a project in the future and want to understand what's an estimate of the rebate you could potentially receive. Our engineers would be happy to work that up for you if you could provide the information. And if that's what you need to have your team say yes and move forward with the project, we're happy to get those estimates over to you. Excuse me. Our team really tries to fill out the bulk of the paperwork on the customer's behalf for the downstream programs, or the business solutions, I should say. We do require like a scope of work, an itemized invoice, ideally cut sheets of the project in order to get started at least. And then what we do is we try to complete as much information on the application as possible and then review that with you for your signature. So we really try to take that lion's share of the work away from you folks. So if you have any questions on any projects, would like to schedule a walkthrough, please reach out to us. You know, we're happy to help and we're here. Next slide. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Feel free to use the chat box. If you have immediate question, you can unmic yourself if necessary, if that would be preferred. We also have the Q&A box. There are several places to put a question. You can also email us at the very end if you come up with something later. If it looks like we do have another question that came through. So does Pennsylvania still have the Small Business Advantage Grant Program, which provides additional support? For example, you guys received $5,000 from the program for an LED upgrade. So I'll take that question. Yes, the Small Business Advantage Grant is still active. It comes around in July and it runs through June of a given year set. So at this time in 2021, July 1st, 2021, it started and it's going through June 30th of 2022. At this time, it has half the fund remaining. And what you can do is you can combine the rebates from Duquesne Light and Franklin and their programs with the Small Business Advantage Grant. There are restrictions with the Small Business Advantage Grant, just like Duquesne Light and Franklin were mentioning. You need high efficiency equipment. It cannot be used equipment. It must be Energy Star. If it's not Energy Star, it has to meet the specs of high efficiency for Pennsylvania in our area. The Small Business Advantage Grant is appropriate for businesses under 100 employees, where the rebate program is fair game for any business looking to utilize the program. So if anyone has additional questions about the Small Business Advantage Grant, please feel free to call PennTap and we can help you through that process. And then we will also work with, in this case, Duquesne Light and Franklin to tee up, hey, you should also reach out for rebates as long as it's not a fuel switching opportunity. As mentioned earlier, renewables or switching to natural gas or say wood furnace, something of that nature. Those are fuel switching opportunities and those do not count under the rebate program. They might count under the Small Business Advantage Grant, just depends on if you're saving energy. So that's a good question. That was a fun question. So yeah, when you're looking at rebates, see if there's other funding that you can take advantage of too. Their rebates are specific to the utility. There are state funded programs. There are federal funded programs to help with energy efficiency. And there's also in Allegheny County, other programs that exist, and you can combine all of those to work towards your advantage. And I absolutely support that. Any other questions? I had one for myself. You guys mentioned briefly, and so I wanted to highlight it, that you do not need pre-approval to work through your project. So if you guys are implementing something that is, you know, it's going to work, it's going to save you energy, that's fantastic news. You don't have to get permission to move forward with that project. However, if you are in the midst of replacing equipment such as compressed air or something that doesn't have a regular black and white on-off system, so for example, a light is on or off based on your hours of operation and the facility you're at. But if you have compressed air, if you have heating and cooling equipment, if you have process equipment, customized equipment, you're going to want to connect with Duquesne Light and Franklin, correct, prior to switching out that equipment?
That is correct. This is Earl Serain again. So the reason being is that we're looking at, we have to establish how many kilowatt hours are being saved. So if we do not know what you're currently using, but we do know what you will be using in the future, it's a little hard for us to calculate how much kilowatt hours and therefore how much the incentive will be. So therefore, we're looking at, if you have an existing system, HVAC or whatever process even, we need to get some monitoring data, kilowatt hour usage data, preferably at least 3 months. If it's something that's more or less seasonal, then we would probably look at it like cooling season and a non-cooling season. But we're looking to get a baseline energy, and then we calculate what it is based on what you're going to figure the energy savings. You don't want to get yourself into getting a quote and going down the route of purchasing, let's say, even lighting that is not on the DesignLike Consortium list. So a lot of times some of the cut sheets that manufacturers may be very dated, especially with COVID now, that they haven't had updates. And those light fixtures are no longer on the current DesignLike Consortium list. That's DLC list, not Duquesne Light. But that list basically is what we utilize to qualify. So at the time of purchase, it must be on an existing DesignLike Consortium, or for some fixtures, it would fall under Energy Star.
That's a very good point. So the DLC list, DesignLike Consortium list, that you will see on spec sheets. It is a specific stamp of approval for LED technology, and says, and it's just one letter out, what is going to be a truly good product versus the other products out there that might not have been vetted. If they haven't been vetted, they can't count towards the program. So that was a good point to bring up as well.
And you'll notice there is two qualifications for DesignLike Consortium. There is their standard and their premium. We rebate the same whether standard or premium. However, for your side, if you do choose to spend the additional for a premium qualified product, it is much more energy efficient. So you'll get additional savings on your own.
Good to know. Good to know. I did have a question. So I just kind of wanted to summarize what you guys had discussed throughout all your slides, that when you said you need to talk with a distributor that you guys have approved, all of that information is going to be found on your website where the rebate calculator, rebate catalog is located, correct?
Correct, yes. And we are in the process of redesigning the website. So the website you view this month may be different than next month's, but for right now, that's where it's hosted.
Yeah, so we're hoping to roll out a much more user-friendly website in the very, very, very near future, which I think is pretty exciting as well. So it should be easier for both you as a customer and for your contractor or electricians to find what you're looking for instead of having to go and figure out where it's at.
One question that may take parking lot, but just out of curiosity, if someone has a preferred contractor that they work with and buy things from, like they have a contract set up with that person, but is not on your list, can they get a hold of you guys and ask you guys to vet that to see if it could make it easier for the company to still work with somebody that maybe they have a contract set up with?
Absolutely, we could. If we run into that situation, if they want to send over the contractor's information, we could have our midstream team set up a call with them and enroll them in the program if they're interested in participating. The only program where it would be kind of a non-starter is the Small Business Direct Install program. We can talk to the contractor if they'd be interested in being a participating contractor. But because they are agreeing to fixed pricing within their contract, we can't make exceptions unless they are a participating contractor.
Makes sense. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? Those are what I had. And
so one other thing that as we were talking about funding is if there are anybody on here that is in the agricultural, there are other agricultural rebate programs, or agricultural grant programs, if I remember correctly. Alana? So yes, those are still active?
They are. There is currently a rebate program through the Department of Environmental Protection that will help you with LED lighting and or VFD technology, applying it to motors. So specific for farms. And so if dairy or meat or crop, your whatever type of farm that you are, as long as you're registered that way. There are rebates, and the way that the state is running that rebate program is if you're buying LED lights, then they take your word that they're going to be better because LED lights are better. So it's a very black and white program that you can receive funding back, and that would complement your rebate program, the Duquesne Light and Franklin Energy rebate program as well. And then there's also other programs that do exist. I highly recommend checking out the Energy Office's Energy Programs DEP office website to see, hey, what programs do exist under energy efficiency. I recommend getting in contact with any kind of economic development agencies in the area, because they will also have resources. PennTap will have resources. Allegheny County is very populated. And so there are some rural grants that PennTap assists with, but due to the population density in Allegheny County, those rural grants don't work as well. They aren't eligible. However, there's a lot of other opportunities out there, and always ask what you can go after versus finding out on the other end going like, oh man, I should have asked. So
that comes with basically,
yeah,
we're seeing, a prevalence increase of grow facilities, whether it's, medical marijuana or even, regular produce grow facilities indoors. So those are definitely, projects we've rebated in the past and can rebate. Well, hopefully we'll be rebating in the future. So they fall under our custom program because lighting for agriculture is calculated differently than your typical building lumens per square foot. We understand that agricultural is a photometric calculation, and you're looking at the light spectrum depending on your grow facility. So we'll be glad to work with you, and we understand that that's going to be different in the LED light spectrum than typical human lighting for office space, et cetera, general lighting. So those are things to think about. And one last thing if I leave with you is we all kind of get tunnel vision when we look at energy efficiency, but we've rebated processes in the past. So if you are a industrial or you are working for somebody who is working in industrial and you're looking at a process in your plant currently, and there is a more efficient way to do that, reach out to us and hopefully we can help you reach that goal of converting over to that new process. We've done that in a multitude of locations where we may not understand the process, but you do. And if you're able to help us understand that and we can document it, then we should be able to get you some rebate money for converting over to the more efficient process for you. So it's a win-win.
Awesome. So with that, I wanted to highlight 3 takeaways. So as you sit here today, you listen to us for about an hour. Phase 4 runs from June 1st, 2021 through May 31st, 2026. As long as there's money available in the program, and you have 180 days or 6 months from the project completion date to apply. Project completion date meaning when the equipment started operating, when it started consuming electricity, so you could start measuring it. At this time, that means if you completed a project near the end of July, you might be able to get some grant or some rebate money. So just keep that in mind. Duquesne Light has everything you need to get started on their website. So even though the website might be changing, what it's doing is it's getting more resources on it. But at this time, you have program enrollment, you have the application form for your rebates, and you have the rebate catalogs. So there will be additional information on distributors and other things. So make sure you keep on checking the website to see those updates as they happen and stay in the know. Also, just wanted to highlight from the way beginning that PennTap can assist with your project planning by providing an energy audit at your facility, prioritizing your energy conservation, eligibility for projects, and funding for projects through our P2E2 initiative. If you are a manufacturer or if you are in the agricultural related businesses, this service is at no cost. If you're in alternative service industry or commercial industry or something of that nature, then please feel free to call us and let us know if we can work something out with you. So this is all great stuff today. If you have any questions about the rebate program that come up afterwards, please feel free All of their information was on this presentation. This presentation is recorded and will be available for your review. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out, and thank you everybody for attending today. Oh, did want to highlight PennTAP webinars. We have an upcoming webinar in February on energy and waste reduction through continuous improvement. So this is looking at lean manufacturing at your site. In addition, with an energy hat in mind. So we have a webinar coming up on the 24th. And then we also have a webinar for Penn State University engagement opportunities for the plastics energy. Out in Erie, the Penn State campus, Farron, they have a plastics program that is highly recognized. And we are going to look at opportunities for them to interface with the industry. That will be in mid-March. And with that, I want to thank everybody for being here today. If you need to contact me, here's my contact information. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you for being here.